Hello guys, myself Ankita. Today in this video we shall see another problem, removing stars from a string. So you are given a string S which contains stars. In one operations you can choose a star in S, remove the closest non-star character to its left, as well as remove the star itself. Return the string after all stars have been removed. So the input will be generated such that the operation is always possible. It can be shown that the resulting string will always be unique. So what's the problem we have to solve? The problem is they have given a string. Let's consider a string A, B, C, star, star. They have given a string that contains both characters as well as stars. A string contains stars. So, string of course contains characters. It also contains stars, is what they have said. So, while passing through the string, if we encounter a star, we have to remove the star itself. We have to remove the star from the string, and also the nearest possible left character to the star. Here, nearest possible left character is C itself, so you have to remove C also. For this star, again you encounter the star, you remove the star, and nearest possible left character is C is already removed, so B. So you have to return A as the output. This is the task which you need to do. So as we all know, string is immutable, right? So we cannot remove any element from the string, or we cannot add a character to the string. Anything is not possible. That's why to perform the operation here, we definitely need a new string called, let's name it as new. A new string is required where we append the particular character, whatever answer we get in the string. So what's the approach to solve this problem is, let's start with this example only, A, B, C, star, star. So it's always better because for this approach, we'll put a for loop and that will iterate in the backwards. See why? Because each time you encounter a string, right, a character here, you cannot just add it to the new string C because it's a character and not a star. Because if you go on adding C also, next you encounter star and this C should be removed. Then again you encounter this star, then again B should be removed. That's a tedious task to do. So henceforth, if you do a backward propagation, we see A, B, C, star, star. If you encounter one star, the nearest possible C can be removed. And you encounter again this star, the nearest possible B can be removed. Then this won't be there. So you just return A. So the removing, in the sense we will be skipping this. Here removing means you're not actually removing the characters. We will just skip these characters in the output string. That is what we are doing over here. And how do we skip this character in the output string? Then that also I shall tell. Again, I'll write the string. So we need a variable called count. That is initialized to 0. Why we need a variable called count? This count is required to keep track of the number of stars we encounter while going backward loop in the string. So at first I will be pointing here, right? I will start from the end of the array. So I will be pointing it. So this is a star. This is nothing but a star. So we increment the value of count to 1. So again you go here. Then again you increment value of the count to 2. So what's the usefulness of this incrementing the count to value of 1 and 2? If you observe, if you encounter 2 stars, then you have to remove 2 characters, right? That will return A. If you encounter 3 stars, of course you have to remove 3 characters. That is mostly in the leftmost nearest characters, whatever there in the string. If the string is A star, B, C star, then for this 1 star the leftmost character, 2 stars we encountered here. The count is 2, but whatever the leftmost character C will be removed, and again you B will be added because there is no star. Then you encounter C star for this leftmost nearest character is A. Then this will be removed. So only B has to be written. So to keep track of this number of stars, how many stars you have in the array, those many number of characters you will be removed. So that's why we need the count variable. So in case here in this example A star B C star, right? So if you encounter star here, count will be 1. Since then you go here, I minus minus will happen. Now we got to know count is equal to 1. Since count is equal to 1 means there is some star you have encountered previously in the loop, so that this character needs to be neglected. So if this star is present, the leftmost left nearest character has to be removed, right? So if count is equal to 1, that means some star we have found in the array, and therefore this character has been neglected. So we just perform I minus minus here. We won't be adding the character to the new string. Then again, now the count value will become 0 now. Because yeah, for this star, you remove or you neglected the character, this character to the output string. Then you go here. I minus minus would happen. Now, since count is 0, there means no other star you encountered previously and all the stars, everything is done. Only the character you have found. So B will be added to the new array. That is not new equal to plus equals to whatever character, S dot character, AT of I. So B will be added to the output array. Then again you go I minus minus. Then again you encounter new string, a star. That means count again will become 1. You increment the value of count. Whenever you find a star, you just increment the value of the count. So then again you go back. Since this is a character, you won't be adding to the new string because count is equal to 1. That means there is some star previous to this. So you have to neglect this. Just perform I minus minus. Don't do the addition operation of adding the character to the string. So this is why we need the count variable and new string, and we handle the problem. So one thing you have to keep in mind is count the value of number of stars, and always increment. If you encounter a star, just increment the value of the count. And why do we need this count variable? In what cases it is required? There is a test case which I couldn't solve when I was solving the problem. So I'll write out that test case now. Let's say it's A, B, B, then star. After that, C, D, F, and G. So after that, again 1, 2, 3, 5 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it's X. Then again, last one more star. So for this example, I treat here. So I would remove all these things. This is not required. Fine, I just erased all of them. So as I said, we need a variable called count. So count equal to 0 initially. One rule is if you encounter star, you just increment the value of the count. And okay, if you encounter star, increment the value of the count. If you encounter any character, then you have to check whether this count is whether if you encounter the character and if the count is greater than 0, that means there is some star before to that we have encountered, so we have to neglect that character. And if we found the character and count is not greater than 0, that means count is equal to 0, then there is no star remaining which we need to, that's why we just need to add the particular character to the new string. So we'll declare a new string called new. Don't write it as new because it's a keyword. So let's write as NEWW, and it's an empty string. And don't give space also because output string would contain space. So if there is a string called new where we'll be appending the characters to the string and count is equal to 0 initially, we run the while loop. While I will be equal to the pointing to the last end of the array, I greater than or equal to 0, since from the backward till the forward you have to iterate. So in this case, yeah, we have to check um, if the character, okay, here you have encountered a star equal to what we have encountered star. We just need to increment the value of the count. So count will become 1 now. From 0 it will become 1, or I shall write it as 1. So count is equal to 1, right? Next, to do I minus minus. So I will be pointing here. So once you do I minus minus, here you are finding a character. In this time, this is a character equal to this is not equal to star. That means it's a character, and count is greater than 0 this time. If you observe, count is equal to 1, right? So that means there is some star which you encounter, and that's why you need to neglect this character. But they get, how do you neglect this? Just do I minus minus. That's it. Don't do the addition operation for the news. So again, you decrement the value of count. So I will point here. Now from here, you could see there is plenty of number of stars. One, two, three, four, five. So again, increment the value of the count. So this time, since you encounter star, count will become 2. No. Okay, here since count is greater than 0 and you neglected this character, right? So count should be decremented by this time. Why? For this star, we we substituted the character for this star. So this case is done. No more condition is required. So count will be 0 again. So again, here count is 0 now, right? So for this star, for this particular star, count will become 1. Then you again increment the value, decrement the value of I. So again you will encounter star, count will become 2. Again decrement the value of I. Then again you go here, count will become 3. Then decrement. Again you go here, count will become 4. Then decrement. Then again here count will be equal to 5. Then decrement. So by now you could see this condition we arrived, right? Character is not equal to star. Yeah, this character is not equal to star and count is greater than 0. Count is 5 is greater than 0. That means 5 stars we have encountered before this. So we have to neglect this character by this time. So we just need to perform I minus minus and count also will be decremented. So for the first star, uh, so for this very first star, we are compensating with this character. What does it? That is what we need. So we just perform I minus minus. I will go here and count will become 4 now. So next again, this is not equal to star and count is greater than 0. Again you do I minus minus and count also will be decremented to 3. That means this particular character is substituted for this star. Then again for D, again character is not equal to star and count is greater than 0. 3, right? So for this star we are compensating with this character. Then again we decrement value of I. So here you could see again it's a character and it's a character and count is greater than 0, that is 3, right? So again you decrement value of count, the count will become 2 now and you're compensating with this star. Again you could see here one more star is remaining, this star is remaining. Now you decrement the value of I and count also 2, count has become 2. So once we are done with this, now 1, 2, 3, 4. Count should be, sorry, it should be 1. Yeah, count will become 1. So after this, now again you encounter star. So that means increment the value of count to 2 again. From 1 it will be incremented to 2. As I said, whenever you encounter a star, you just need to increment the value of I. So count has become 2 again, right? So then you I minus minus you do. Again you I goes here. So since this is not a character and count is greater than 0, again you perform count minus minus and I minus minus. That means actually we have this star remain here. For this star, we're compensating with this character. That is what it means. So that is the leftmost character which is available for this star is B. Since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars we have encountered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth leftmost character we have for this. So for this star, it's G, and here it's F. For this star, the compensating character leftmost character will be D. For this star, compensating leftmost character will be C. And for this star, compensating leftmost character will be B. After this, again you go back for this star, again compensating character will be B. So that is what we perform here. So once you are done with this, again I minus minus, I will be pointing to this B now. So I shall point to this B and count will become 1 again. Why count equal to 1? Again this star is remaining. So again, you encounter this is not equal to this equal to star, that is this is a character and count is greater than 0. Count is 1, right? So we're compensating this star with this B, as I told here. So again, you neglect this B, I minus minus you do, then you go to A. By this time, you can see count is equal to 0, right? Count will be decremented to 0 here, this operation. By this time, count is equal to 0 and this is not equal to a star. That means you have to append this A to the new string A. So new plus equals character rate I. It's called character rate I. So this is what we need to perform. So as I said, two conditions. If you encounter star, just increment the value of the count. If you do not encounter the star, then you have to check whether the count is greater than 0 or not. If count is greater than 0, then just neglect that character. Count is not greater than 0, that means it will be equal to 0. Then you have to append the character to the string. And after you do this operation, if you give for this example A, B, C, D star, then for this star you're compensating this D, right? So then again C will be appended to the new string, then B will be appended, then A will be appended. But the output we need is ABC actually, this remaining thing ABC. We have reversed of this as the output. So we just using the string builder object, we just reverse this string and again create a new string and initialize that reversed object to the new string and return the result. So I hope you guys have understood the problem. So in this example, the main thing what we are doing is, yeah, for this star you compensate x. For this star the leftmost character is this. For this star leftmost character is this. Again for here leftmost character is this. Leftmost character is this. Then for this star leftmost character would be this because here you have star again. Then you go back this for this star leftmost character compensating is b. Then you return only a. So to handle this case, the in between you get star, all these things, you need a count variable and all these conditions to perform. So we shall code this now. And yeah, one more thing, instead of while loop, we could use for loop as well because each time you're incrementing I by 1 itself for all the three cases. If it's star also increment I equal to 1, if you encounter character also increment I equal to 1, and if you have anything, yeah, increment I equal, decrement, sorry, not increment, decrement I by 1. So fine. At first we'll initialize count equal to 0. This count is needed. Why? Count is required to find the keep track of number of stars. Then you declare a new string and initialize it to what empty. Don't give a space. If you give space, the resultant string also will contain the space. So that's why don't give space here. Then after this, empty means nothing should be there. No space also. So after you initialize the new declared a new string, then in let's keep track of the length of s dot length minus 1 n equal to s dot length minus 1. Why minus 1? Because we are iterating backward, right? So that's why from the I should be pointing to the last index of the array. So this last index is stored in n, or int I equal to n, I greater than equal to 0 till from the last index till the first index, and I minus minus. If s dot character 80 of I, if that is not equal to 0 and count if it is greater than 0, so here in this case you can see, no, for all these cases we are regulating these characters, right? The count would be greater than 0. That means we just need to decrement the value of I. So I minus minus, or just skip that condition. Here, okay, I minus minus, however you do, you decrement the value of count. Count will be minus minus, count minus minus. Else if s dot character 80 of I is not equal to 0, if count is not greater than 0, that means count will be equal to 0. That condition we will be checking. First, we have to check this condition. Only then we'll come to this condition. Because if you just give a star characterity of I not equal to 0, sometimes the count will be greater than 0, and you should not append that character. That character will be appended to the new string. That should not happen. So in this case, again we decrement count minus minus and appending that character to the new string. So new plus equals s dot character at of I. Another else condition. The other else condition is nothing. You have if you encounter star. If you encounter star, just increment the value of count plus plus. So after all this for loop, as I said, you have to reverse the string, right? You have to reverse the string to answer. Here you can see this answer to get. So for reversing a string, let's declare and initialize the string builder object with the new resultant string. So string builder resultant equal to new string builder of what? The new whatever resultant string you have and dot reverse. Since a string is immutable, we cannot just we can't reverse the existing string as it is. So what we are doing is we are converting the uh, new string, resultant string, whatever we have got, into another new string called into another object called res. So after this, we have to return res to string. So here we are just converting this object to string again. So any operation if you want to do on a string, you just convert that string into an object. So on that object you can either add, delete, reverse any operation here. Once you do that operation, then again convert it back to the string. So we converted the whatever string, new string to object, string builder object. After converting to string builder object, you do the reverse operation. That reversed object you store it into a resultant object and you convert that resultant object again to string. So we shall run this. Okay, let me check any mistakes which I know. Count should be minus decrement. Yeah, this is not required, right? So I didn't get to. Why do we need count here? Because as a character, since character equal to 0, count is equal to 0, we are adding that character to the new resultant string because no other star has been left to eliminate this character, right? So this count minus minus here not required. Only if you found the star, then you increment the value of count. If you don't find a star and count is greater than 0, then you have to decrement the value of count. That means you are neglecting that particular character. Again, it's showing an error. Um, and this should be star actually. And given a single limited comma, not double. And if this is not equal to star means it will be some other character, right? So yeah, I hope this time it works. Yeah, it's been successfully submitted. If you have any doubts, please drop out in the comment section. We'll come up with another video in the next section. I hope you guys have understood the problem. Until then, keep learning and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.